Hey guys, what's up? Shin05T5 here, coming at you with another video. And today's video, I just finished another game, that game being Bleach Soul Resurrection for the PlayStation 3. I have the cover right here, and this is going to be a short video, mainly because there's not much to this game. Unfortunately, or I guess fortunately, this game is such a mixed, I wouldn't even say it's a mixed bag. I wouldn't consider it a bad game because it functions fine, it works, I see what they're doing with it, but there's just nothing to it. And what I mean by that is I beat this game in about 3 hours. The main story only has 14 missions, and it's each mission's 5 to 10 minutes long, and there's only 14 of them, and the game only covers from the start when Ichigo enters Waco Mundo to the Ichigo and Aizen fight. So that's a full arc of content, but that's all this game covers. And the levels are really short, but I wouldn't consider this a super bad game. It just kind of feels rushed and there's nothing to it. I think that's the worst part. Gameplay wise, it functions pretty well. Basically, it's like a Dynasty Warriors game where you fight multiple hollows and Arancars and things like that until you get to the boss at the very end. So you play through a linear stage fighting through groups of enemies, and then you get to a boss and then you take on the boss. And that's pretty much how all levels go. And it works. Again, it covers all the major fights. So we got Ichigo versus Ukleora, Ichigo versus Grimmjow, Byakuya versus Yami, Yoruichi versus Aizen, and then we got, of course, Ichigo versus Aizen at the end. And what's honestly the coolest part about this game is you get to play as Final Getsuga Ichigo. Not his Final Getsuga transformation where he has the long black hair, that's his ultimate attack. But what you do get to play is Ichigo with the longer hair and the Zangetsu with the chain going up his arm, which looks fucking so cool. That is my favorite look for Ichigo. And yeah, all in all, I think it's a pretty okay game, just overall. But I think the real problem with the game is they do pay a lot of attention to detail, which I do appreciate for a lot of these characters. For example, when you play as Kenpachi, you don't have a block button. There's a block button in the game where every character will put up their sword and block an attack, except for Kenpachi. Kenpachi will just stand there and taunt the opponent, and he can't block. And I think that was hilarious. That is such a great attention to detail for his character. And it has a lot of other little things like that. So the way Sonfon's attack work, where she does the butterfly stab and she has to hit that an opponent twice, it's an instant kill. If you hit your opponent twice with it, they die. It doesn't matter, they just die. Again, great attention to detail there. So it works, but I think a big problem with the game is a lot of even though they're very faithful to the characters in terms of gameplay, a problem with putting Bleach into a Dynasty Warriors setting is a lot of Bleach's fights are one-on-ones. They're not fighting multiple people. So a lot of their movesets for a lot of characters only make sense on a 1v1 type scenario. So there's a lot of characters that don't have good crowd control attacks, big swings that hit multiple enemies where you can combo them up and knock them down. Yoruichi's a perfect example of this. She's close quarters, hand-to-hand combat, so she's really good at focusing on one guy, but when you're fighting a group of guys, you're just doing combos, and then you kill the guy, and then it's just you have to lock onto the next one. She doesn't have good sweeping crowd control attacks for the parts where you're fighting multiple enemies. But I think that's a problem because they stayed faithful to the characters, but the characters usually don't fight large groups of enemies. A lot of some of the characters don't have these large group attacks that are good for crowd control fighting multiple people. So I think that's a problem. And the game is super short. Like I said, it was 3 hours long. There's nothing to this game. But all in all, Honestly, what I think happened with this one was, I think Namco Bandai, or whoever made this game, wanted to capitalize on the Ichigo versus Aizen fight so bad. So I'm assuming when this game came out, it came out right as that fight aired on Toonami and wherever it came out, and they made a game immediately covering just that one arc for the Ichigo and Aizen fight, just so they could like capitalize it and sell a game and like just pay off on all the hype. Because there's really nothing to this game. This game feels very similar to Digimon All-Stars Rumble. That's another game where it's just like, it's a cool idea, but they put like no content in it at all. So yeah, honestly, if you're a really big Bleach fan, I would recommend it. It's a fun playthrough. It's only 3 hours long. If you could get it at like a really cheap price, or if you want to emulate it, it's worth playing. It's just not like long, and it's just not super good, but I think it's alright. I just had this weird itch to play like a Bleach game, just like shoot off a couple like Getsuga Tenshos, and this game like scratched that itch for me. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, but just don't expect much out of it. So anyway, guys, I'm Shin0525. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about Bleach Soul Resurrection down in the comment section below. I'm actually curious to see if anyone actually played this game. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye. Later.